Narendra, and welcome to the third episode of Her Wed Journey. So, today let's talk about something that sits at the core of financial independence financial planning. I want to talk about the importance of financial planning in the lives of single women. So, let's look at two different examples, two different situations where both women are single, independent, they're living their lives on their own, they enjoy their freedom, and they're managing their lives on their own. But one, she lives by herself, she enjoys her freedom, she is focused on her career, and she travels when she can. And the other is raising a child. She's juggling between school fees, work deadlines, childcare, groceries, and everything in between. So their lives may look very different, but something that we have to remember is that they are their own safety net. And that's when financial planning actually becomes not just important, but essential. So I think it's important to ask ourselves one question: what am I working towards? So without that clarity, it's very easy to earn, spend, but also feel like you're not really moving forward. So what we have to do is you need to break down your goals into three different buckets. So first we have your short-term goals, right? These are your immediate priorities. For women without children, this may be an emergency corpus, travel, or upskilling. For women with children, it includes school fees, childcare, or creating a buffer for unexpected cost. We then have your medium term expenses like buying a house, upgrading your lifestyle, or even creating stability in your career. And if you have children, this bucket becomes so much more important because you now have to think about planning for education and creating a secure, living environment for your children. And finally, the last bit are your long term goals. And this is where the conversation really starts to get serious. So we're looking at retirement, we're looking at financial independence and long-term security. For a single woman without children, this is very important because you have to support yourself, especially in the later stages of your life where you don't have any immediate family to come and help you out. And for a single woman with a child or children, it's even more important because it's not just your retirement, but you also have to make sure that your children are taken care of even in your absence. So the next question that you have to ask yourself is, how much should I be saving, right? So I think a simple way to actually start off is to look at the 50, 30, and 20 rule. 50% of your expenses should go towards your needs or your fixed expenses. 30% should go towards your wants or your lifestyle choices, and about 20% should go towards your savings or investment. So if you're a single woman without children, ideally you should aim to increase your savings to about 25 to 30% gradually. Because you don't have any secondary support, especially in the later stages of your life. But if you're a single woman with children, you have to remember that you're not just saving for yourself, right? They serve multiple roles. So you're planning for emergencies, your child's future, also your own retirement. So while 20% is a good starting point, it is very, very critical that you gradually increase this. If 20% feels like too much right now, you can start with 10 to 15%. What's important is really just building this habit. Now, here's the most important mindset shift. It's to treat savings as a non-negotiable expense. So most people, what they do is they save what is left after spending, right? But that approach doesn't always work. So instead, we should flip this. So you save first and then you spend. So the second your salary or the income actually hits your bank account, it should automatically go into your savings or investments. And this is especially important when you're the sole provider because financial gaps hit harder when there's no backup. The last thing that I would like to touch upon, and something that we don't talk about enough, is uncertainty, right? What happens if your income stops? What happens if there's an emergency? So for most people, 6 months of expenses should be enough. But if you're single, especially a single mother, I think it's important to aim for about 9 to 12 months of expenses as an emergency corpus. Again, this is also because, life is unpredictable and financial resilience gives you choices during difficult times. And it's not really about cutting down every joy or constantly worrying about money, right? So when you're building a life for yourself or for you and your child, that sense of control, that's the real independence. And that's all we have for today. If you have any questions, you can reach out to any of us at Hexagon Wealth, and we'd be more than happy to help you out with your journey. Thank you.